Hey folks, Leave here once again. Hope you guys can hear me and the quality's good. Alright, anyway guys, hope y'all enjoyed my review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Uh yeah, that's on my channel right now if you want to check that out. Also thank you guys for 295 subs. We're getting close to 300. We're getting there guys. And for the views and for your nice comments, you know, yeah, and stuff. I do appreciate it. Live from the bottom of my heart, I do. And remember guys, you can share my channel with your friends, family, coworkers. I appreciate that. That's just being supportive. And also when you subscribe to my channel, don't forget to click the little bell. Say all personalized on it. Click all personalized. That way you'll know when I upload my next review or upload a video. It'll tell you. You'll be notified. Well, it's notifications or whatever, but it'll let you know. And also it'll maybe when I do community posts as well when I say I'm going to do next review. But anyway, guys, what I've been doing on my YouTube channel is a superhero marathon. I've been doing what I call the 2020s era of superhero reviews. I just repeat this a lot just in case if I get any new viewers or new people, so they know what's going on the channel. Or so you guys don't get confused if it's a first time watching a video like this that I'm doing a review. Just to tell you what's going on the channel. No, that's it. And what's going on is, like I said, we're doing a superhero marathon, 2020s era superhero reviews. That's what I call it. These are films that came out in the 2020 decades we're living in now. 2020 to the year we're living in now, 2025. Yeah, and now I'm starting with the year. Yesterday I ended with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That was November 2022. So now that was the end of my 2022 superhero reviews. Now I'm getting to the year 2023. And remember, guys, I go by months, by all the 12 months: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I go by all the 12 months of any year. And these two movies, well, this first movie, this was released on February 7th, direct to video. This is a DC animated movie. This film is the sixth film in the DC animated movie universes. I'm sorry. I'll put it in the description box below, by the way. Second phase, which is the Tomorrowverse. This is also the 50th installment in the DC Universe animated original movie line. Yeah. And it's a DC animated film. DC Universe movie that is Legion of Superheroes, which I have on Blu-ray. Really love this movie. I watched it for this review and I really enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I would. But first of all, I love the artwork on here. This is what I'll give DC though. I love the artwork. And this film is PG for some violence and language. Yeah, you do have some blood in here. They can get a little, not too gore, but it does have blood in here. It doesn't hold back on that. There is blood in this film, so you might not like watching this movie for your kids because characters do die in here. DC goes to be dark, so don't be thinking, oh, this is for kids just because it's an animated film. No, not. When it's PG-13, it's almost like watching a rated R movie. And some of the DC animated movies are rated R, and I wouldn't say recommend them for your children. Stick with Disney or some animated films, animated movies that you might prefer for you if you have kids. But if you want them to watch this, that's up to you. Just let you know there is blood in here and stuff, and a bit of the violence you may not like them watching. I'm just letting you guys know. Anyway, this is the Blu-ray. This is special features on here. They give the Legion of the behind the Legion, Down to Earth, the story of Supergirl, Brainiac Attack, the intelligent behind the supervillain. You have two bonus cartoons from Superman the animated series, which is Little Girl Lost, Part 1 and 2, introducing Supergirl. This movie is mainly, well, not just about her, but the story does revolve around her. Let's just say if you hated the Supergirl movie with Helen Slater and you feel like she maybe deserves a better movie to be in, well, I'll say she's basically the star of the movie. Because the film is mainly focused on her story and her joining the Legion of Superheroes. Yeah, then you'll probably like this more. Are you like the TV show with Melissa Botanist? Who I think is great as Supergirl. I love Helen Slater as Supergirl. She was not the problem in that movie. I also love Melissa Botanist from the Supergirl 2015 CW TV series. It stopped being good in my opinion, by season 4. Season 2 had problems, but I did like it. Season 1 is the best one in my opinion of that show. Season 3 was good. Had my problems with it, but season 4 and 5 just, it just went downhill for me. Sorry. Yeah. And if you think that the rest of those seasons suck and you want a good movie with Supergirl, where it's not being woke or anything, that actually has a good story, then definitely check this out. I know we're gonna get a Supergirl movie, hopefully in live action. That'd be awesome. I want to see Superman, but I really want to see a Supergirl live action film done a little better. I do like the 1984 movie, but it has issues. It needed a little more work, so they need to do Supergirl again in live action. Well, let me take the slipcover off. The film I just have on Blu-ray. I really like the Blu-ray disc, and like I said, I love the artwork. with the DC and their animated films. They do a great job here, in my opinion, with their artwork of their posters. It looks fantastic. I love a lot of their posters. They do so great with it. Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which is that 1993. DC has made a lot of great. I think all the posters are nearly great for their movies. In my opinion. But the development, though, the idea of a Legion of Superheroes film was conceived by Butch Luke and Jim Crook, who wanted to incorporate the both Supergirl and the team into this Tomorrowverse, which I believe started with Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ugh. I barely talk. Yeah. The second story, which is started with Superman, Man of Tomorrow, which was in the year 2020. I review Superman, Man of Tomorrow on my other channel. So my Superman reviews, and I did review Justice Society World War One. And Batman Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, I did review those on my other channel. They're my Batman reviews. Just like World War 2, you can find my review in here on the DC reviews, or, it was in 2021. I reviewed Green Lantern from Power a couple of certain days ago. Yeah. And of course, I'll be reviewing Justice League World, but that didn't come out till July. And I will be reviewing Justice the Crisis on Videos Part 1, 2, and 3, but not until we get into the year 2024. So, yeah. That's just to name some of their movies. Luke hired Jeff Webster, a director, due to their previous collaboration on Justice Society World War II. Speculation of Legend of Superheroes film began on June 22nd, with the Motion Station gave a PG-13 rating to this film. The film was confirmed by Warner Bros. Entertainment the next month at San Diego Comic Con after the premiere of Green Lantern from Power. It is the first DC animated film to be released by DC Studios, which took over development on all DC projects in November of the same year. I'll mention the voice cast a little later. Yeah, Donnelly, who cast Supergirl, she was casting director, her voice director, voice place, and showed footage of her previous work. She was allowed to improvise many of his lines during recording. He also wanted to develop his own take on Invisible Boy, as the film marked his first appearance in media outside of comics. Now, this is also based on the comic Legion of Superheroes. They're like the 31st century, like in the future superhero. They're like inspired by Superman, by the Justice League. Their first appearance was in 1958. They're closely associated with Superboy, and Superman was a teenager. They're also time travelers as well. I think they were in an episode of Smallville as well. But I'm not going to sit here and read that. They've made some little TV shows where, oh yeah, like I said, Smallville. Yeah. Let's see. And then Superman, the animated series as well. An episode of Justice League Unlimited, Far From Home. An episode called Legion. I think that was maybe season 8 or season 9 of Smallville. I don't remember. But I know it had to be one of those seasons. But I'm not going to read all about the characters. I mean, if you want to read it, just look at Wikipedia and read about it yourself if you're interested. I go sit here and read that all day, but that's just me. Meg Donnelly voices Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl. She does inspire the world for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Part 1, 2, and 3. And she did a great job. She's done some voice work for animated series or other cartoons. Yeah. Harry Shum Jr. as a voice of Brainiac 5, who was a clone, but he's like a good guy. He's a same member of the Legion of Superheroes. Yeah, but he's more of a hero, not the Brainiac you know who's the Superman villain. Harry Shum Jr. I thought did a great job. He was in Revenge of the Green Dragon, Step Up 2, Street, Step Up 3D, White Frog, Stomp the Yard, which I've never seen any of those movies, Escape Plan. Oh man, sequel to Escape Plan was long, which I didn't like that movie. But he does come back to voice the character again, Justice League Crisis on Infinite. I'm guessing, assuming all three parts. And Kung Fu Panda 4, he did a voice for that. Darren Crisis, reprised as Rose Keller, Clark Kent Superman. He's voiced the character since Superman Man Tomorrow in 2020. Let's see. Yeah, Superman Man Tomorrow and Justice League World War 2. Well, Superman Earth 2. And this movie and Justice League World, which came out the same year as this, and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. Matt Boomer as the Barry Allen in The Flash. Let's see, was his first time? See, I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Okay, just decided World War II where he voiced the Flash, but Flash just have a small part in here. But he does survive for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, and I guess he wasn't in Part 2 but Part 3. Well, he was in Part 1 of that. He does a good job. But to me, the best voice for some of these characters is either Tim Daly or George Newbern for Superman, and for me, it's Michael Rosenbaum as voice of the Flash. Jensen Ackles voices Bruce Wayne Batman, restoring his role from Batman The Long Halloween, Part 1 and Part 2. He did voice Jason Todd, though, in Batman Another Red Hood, and he was in Smallville as well, in Season 4 Smallville, and Batman Long Halloween, voicing the character for the first time, and also this movie, Justice League World War II, and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. And yeah, Jason T. Yeah. And you probably should know him for Supernatural. If you ever heard of that show, I don't know, but he's in that. Cynthia Hamdun as Dawnstar. Gideon Eldon as Teeny Wiseau, Phantom Girl. Thought she did a good job. She voiced Barbara Gordon, Poison Ivy, and Batman Doom Came to Gotham. That came out the same year, but I think that was March. In Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, she voiced Batgirl, aka Barbara Gordon. And Ellie Henry as Charles Tane, Bouncing Boy. He was in Twisted. I guess did some TV shows mainly. Film, not too much films, but he's done a couple of TV shows and stuff. Voice work as well, I'm assuming. Robbie Domain as Brian Wando, Timberwolf, Brainiac 4. Sailor Moon, he did some TV series, anime, I guess. Voice work for those. Did some voice for Rugrats, Aquaman King of Atlantis. Yuri Lerone as Monel. Can't say his name right, sorry. Voiceover work, let's see. Nothing I don't think I've ever seen that I'm looking up. Sorry, guys. Well, he did a voiceover for Rocket Power. I remember growing up watching that show on Nickelodeon. Haven't seen that in a long time. Batman the Brave and the Bold, Ben 10 Alien Force. Sorry. Yeah. He did some other voice work. Let's see. Oh, Injustice, he voiced Mirror Master and Flash and Shazam. Incredibles 2, he did voice work for that. He was in Terminator the Zero Chronicles, which is a TV series. Eric Lopez as Rock Kryn, Hazard Boy. Critic Agnew as Chemical King. He did a voiceover for Catwoman Hunted. Darren DePaul voiced Brainiac. Sarah School, Solomon Grundy. He almost sounds like Clancy Brown to me a little bit. He voiced Lex Luthor in Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons. Just like World War II, he voiced Franklin D. Roosevelt, Brainiac. Yeah, Batman Doom King of Gotham, he voiced Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father. Van Diskin as Floyd Bricken, Arm Fall Off Boy, Brainiac 2. Did some TV shows as well. Zena Robertson as Jackie Fogart. I can't say it right. Invisible Kid. I'll just call him Invisible Kid. Okay, let's see. Did some voice work as well. The film was written by Jeff Webmaster, written by Joseph Campbell, based on Legion of Superheroes. Comic book based by created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino. Produced by Luca. I guess he's worked with DC many times before. Edited by Bruce A. King. Music is by Kevin Ripple. The music for Shrek 2 the game, Shrek Super Slam, video game I'm assuming. Sky High, he was credited as a music programmer for that movie. Oh, and Happy July, guys. But I think Sky High turns 20 this year. I mean, this month. Yeah. Batman Limited, Animal Instincts, Unlimited Monster Mayhem, Batman Unlimited Max vs. Mutants, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Turtles. He's done music score for that. This movie just Crisis on Videos Part 1. Production companies are Warner Brothers Animation, DC Entertainment, distributed by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. And it was released on February 7, 2023, straight to video, direct to video on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and video on demand. The film and other DC anime films were released and labeled as DC Elseworlds. Alright, I'm gonna talk about the plot synopsis. Again, I'll just go ahead and warn you guys if you've never seen this film, don't watch this review. The film is only 1 hour and 23 minutes long. About 83 minutes of running time, but it's not that long. Yeah, it was as long as Black Panther. It's not over 2 hours and 41 minutes long. I really like that movie, but that movie was way too damn long. But again, if you've not seen this movie, one warning right now is there's going to be spoilers in this review. So if you've never seen Legion of Superheroes, don't watch this. Pretty much for the plot, you know what? Maybe I can just read it on my phone for it. I'll just read it on here. Is that the story is the 31st century Legion of Academy. You have Kara, Supergirl, who, Krypton got blown up. Sharon Pod was knocked off for a couple of years. For a good couple of years. And of course, to protect her cousin, who is of course Superman, Kal-El, Clark Kent. But he's a grown man, so she's learning to adjust to our world, the way things on Earth works. And she's not very happy. She seems very depressed. And Batman says, her powers are out of control. So he sends her to the 31st century, where she meets Mon-El and Brainiac 5, who don't get along at first. And, for her to train, for her to become a better hero, to control her powers. Because she does take Superman's advice. So, but basically, there's a plot lurks in the shadows. As the mysterious group known as the Dark Circle, they seek a powerful weapon held in the Academy's vault. Well, so Supergirl has a team up with Brainiac 5, Mon-El, and the rest of the Legion of Superheroes. They have to find out who is behind the Dark Circle, who is the Dark Circle, and find out why they want what they want in this vault, and find out what they are up to. As the Dark Circle intends to kill them off one by one, and also takes the teachers of the school, like the leaders, the main Legion of Superheroes who run the place. So they have to find out what they're up to. As they cease to, you find out they intend to a villain. It's a very powerful villain that comes in, plans to basically take over the world and do a lot of damage. And Supergirl, along with Brainiac 5 and the other Legion of Superhero movies, they must team up and defeat this enemy and take him down and bring him down before he could basically damage reality. Yeah, this is spoiler. Yeah, not spoiler, but that's the plot for you. So I didn't try to spoil too much, so you can listen into that sometimes. Sorry if I do. I just can't help it not spoil it sometimes. But again, you don't have to watch the review. That's why I say if you've not seen this movie, do not watch this review. Just telling you so you don't spoil things for yourself. Sorry. Okay, no more. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about the movie itself. So if you've never seen this film, again, Legion of Superheroes. If you've never seen Legion of Superheroes, turn the review over right now. Don't spoil it for yourself. I did really enjoy this movie. Was it completely perfect? No. Well, I can say I thought it was, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it was. But I thought it was a great movie. I loved it. I think it's one of DC's animated best films in my opinion. I'll get to why. But I really enjoy this. Just so far, this Tomorrowverse I've really enjoyed. Is it completely like perfect? No, it's not. But it's really good. At least I thought it was. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about the movie. So again, if you've not seen Legion of Superheroes, turn the review off right now. All right, warning, final warning. Now let's get into the review. I'm gonna talk about the movie itself. Maybe if I get time, do some quotes. Then I give my final thoughts on it. And excuse me. And that'll be in the end of the video when I do that. But anyway, the film opens up in Arkham City, which is on Krypton. It's just like another part of it. But you have Oliver Sorrell, Kara's mother. Yeah, they're like running in the beginning, they're racing. She's just having cars, just having fun with her mom. And they're just racing for fun, and she beats her. She's like, "Oh, I got you, mom. I beat you." And tells her mom that she misses her. She wishes she was around her more. But Alora basically tells her, "Well, I've just been busy a lot. You know, yeah, yeah." And then all of a sudden, they see the planet going red, and eventually, she tells Cora she's been busy. So they run to part of the ship in Orgo City. Well, like an ice crystal where her brother-in-law Jarrell, who's been warning the council that Krypton is going to blow up, be destroyed, but the council and Krypton does not listen. So secretly, she could be arrested for treason for it, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. But apparently, all the ships don't work except one, so she sends Car away. Sees Car and is like, Car is like, Mom, no. And then we get the opening titles. But then, taking off the fragment of exploding planet, though, it damages Car's pod. Her pod gets knocked off course, where she's in spinning animation. It sends the vessel that arrives on Earth later than intended. So it could have been many something years, you know. But then we get the open titles. Then we get the present day, and you see Cora, just wearing glasses. She's now known as Supergirl. Superman found her, of course, her pod, and has been training her. But Cora just has a hard time adjusting to life. Like, for instance, people think she's weird or being made fun of. The girls like make fun of her. Well, Cora's trying to get to the map where these a jacket or I forget something like that. And she's like, computer, where's the jacket? Computer, where's the jacket? Then she asks the security guard, he's like, where can I find this? And he's like pointing her to the map, and she's like, oh, so it's right here with her fingers. She pushes, breaks it. These girls make fun of her, call her a freak. And Cardis has a hard time adjusting. She misses Krypton very much. Even though it's blown up, it's still her home. She misses her mom very much. She misses her world very much, and like having a hard time adjusting. Of course, you can't really blame her because her home was destroyed. Argo City was destroyed, and Earth is not really her home, but she has to live there, no choice. But all of a sudden, she hears a loud noise, and it's Solomon Grundy, who's got like a ray gun or whatever, not a ray gun, but this red gun, and she's like, "No, I'm not Superman, but Supergirl. You can tell them." And then Grundy's like, "Girl, weak," and he fights Grundy. Grundy gives her a good beating, almost kills her, but Superman shows up, fight her off. But Batman distracts Grundy by pointing to him, and Superman punches him, knocks him out. He's like, "You okay, Cora?" And some guy says to Cora, like, "You ruined my apartment. Well, just get robots to fix it. Engine robots, these kind of robots, government robots." And she's like, well, you could appreciate it. And they argue. Batman and Superman talk privately, and Batman says that your cousin's out of control because you were just happy. He's like, well, I don't like, Superman, he just, sorry, Superman says, I don't like what you're implying. He says, look, Superman, she's out of control. She's going to kill somebody. She doesn't care. She's going to injure somebody. You got to do something about it. And he's like, Batman, I will. Yeah. Batman investigates. He sees the gun. Well, I forgot to mention McCoy's fighting Solomon Grundy before Superman and Batman show up. She saw these people of the Dark Circle. Okay, well, the Dark Circle. They, you know, Batman spots what they're up to. He's like, Grundy can't get his hands. So Flash shows up as well. It's nice to see Flash, but it's just a small part. It's fine. We've already had Flash in the movie Justice Society World War II. We see more of him in that movie. Of course, you had to get it, make another movie characters, but I do like when Flash is. Wait a minute, that's from Sonic Grundy, the guy who thinks Monday and Tuesday are the same day or something like that. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Then Superman talks to Kara, and he's like, I know he was like, she's like, my Krypton's my home, and I miss it. And he's like, you know what? Tello, has like this time jump ball or whatever. He's able to use it, and says, come on, Kara. Takes her to the 31st century to join the Legion of Superheroes, Legion Academy. He's like, well, they're inspired just like, well, they're inspired by me. And Kara, you can use some help here, but if you want to leave, it's your decision. I'm not forcing you to be here. Meanwhile, Batman does interrupt the masked individuals raiding Star Labs. Batman tries to, Batman does fight them off, knocks them out. But apparently, one of them takes cyanide in his mouth, kills himself. Batman tries to question what they're doing, but he cyanides himself. He's like, "Oh, the Dark Circle will always remain." And Batman says, "Batman and Justice League members available." Because Batman's like, "No, I didn't find out what they were up to." He's introduced to the Academy of Trainees Monel, and she correlate. Well, like Monel, very cute. That's what she's thinking, as you can tell. She's very attracted to him when she first meets him. And she's like, yeah, kill, I'll be great here. Go, go, go. And Superman's like, okay, Cora. And then he gets the crystal ball back in or whatever, the time machine ball, whatever the frick you want to call it. The time ball, whatever, to go back to Earth. I mean, go back to 21st century, the past, present, whatever. But she sees Brainiac 5, where she meets him for the first time. And she's like, Brainiac? He's a threat. Stay away from him. She tries to fight him. He's like, I'm gonna take, she picks him up. I'm gonna take you as a threat. He's able to get like these shields around him. Supergirl tries to punch it. It doesn't work. He's like, it'll just keep growing. He's like, and she is able to, kick it. Like, thanks for the advice. And then she kicks him enough to a classroom, destroy the classroom. Brainiac fights like, that's it. And they fight more. They get into this huge argument. Yeah. But she mistakes him for the enemy Brainiac, who Superman fought in his early years, probably. But Brainiac 5 is distrusted. People don't like him because he says, oh, I'm smarter than you. They talk to the council, which is run by Timberwolf. I forget what the other names are. But they tell them, stop acting like this. We'll let you off warning since you're new. But do it again, it will suspend you. You'll be kicked out of here. And Brainiac just give each other mean looks. Yeah. Supergirl will want to introduce her to places around. Places around the place. Like, there's one place you can go to evolve without being destroyed. Supergirl meets the rest of the team, which is Arm Boy, the Invisible Boy, Triple Girl, Bouncing Boy, and I forget, whether they, girl that can kind of vanish, and a cute little creature I forgot to mention. I forget his name, but he's very like a cute little creature. She meets them, and when she meets Armor, she's like, ew, that's disgusting. Oh, Pet Protege, that's the name. Triple Girl does spot my nail lurking in a near Side security vault. She says he's a party, come on, party. And, well, you do have moments of Supergirl and Brainiac 5 fighting over who's intelligent, trying to figure out the map equations. He's like, well, you're not very intelligent, smart. And then Supergirl's like, okay, it didn't work, okay. And then they're at each other's throats. It's a bit of a rivalry between the two. And she also sees, well, Supergirl, by the way, I forgot to mention, the Dark Circle shows up. She fights with them, and she's recently, they kill her, as you assume. But the Lean Engineers, Supergirl sees, like, Brainiac 5 walking. He's like, what are you up to? He's like, I'm trying to, he's been investigating the Dark Circle. He tells her it's none of your business. Then the Legionnaires show up. Timberwolf doesn't trust him. Says, well, we don't trust Brainiac 5. He's like the Brainiacs, and he's evil. He's just a straight up killer, a psychopath. We can't trust him. And they suspect that he's been the one, you know, that he enrolled in Academy to penetrate the revolt. It contains a dangerous weapon. But Brainiac 5 is trying to explain that he's trying to counter an organization called the Dark Circle. And Kara tells Timer, well, why would he do that? It's not logical for him to come back to the crime. If he killed Triple Girl, he wouldn't have killed her. He's stupid. He's not stupid. Brainiac is one thing, he's not stupid. But she meets Dawnstar, who tells her side reviews that all of them don't like him, are jealous of him, and are suspicious of him, but Legionnaires suspect that he's going to that vote for that weapon, that he's crazy and a villain, basically. Because his grandfather, Brainiac, is a very high psychopathic villain who nearly killed Superman, so they don't trust him or any Brainiacs like him. So kind of him and Supergirl understands this though because you know she felt like she didn't belong on Earth either. She had a hard time adjusting, and Brainiac has a hard time adjusting because people don't trust Supergirl very much because Supergirl, she overdoes it with her powers, and her way of handling life sometimes is just to pack a punch with it, and she doesn't handle things the right way as people should, or being clumsy like we're pushing the camera, the map, you know, and Brainiac, has a time fitting into it. So they both have a hard time fitting in. So this gives the two a connection. But Supergirl believes him. She breaks him out. She's like, I'll help you. She just has to trust him. Uh, Kara does, he does recognize the mass figure she sees. Because use X-ray vision to save more than there. She, the Dark Circle, they learn that the reality bending miracle machine they're trying to get their hands on. They get joined by Mon-El, who also believes them. They end up they overcome its security by fighting a bit of the Dark Circle. They find the machine. But spoiler alert, spoiler alert, sorry. Mon-El is revealed to be one of them because I was like, good, we're in here. Mon-El has a dagger of green kryptonite and stabs Kara. In his way, he thinks that kryptonite, but he summons the rest of the Star Circle who overpower the Academy. Teachers and students, they like a red button he pushes to click. They all get kidnapped. They don't kill them. No, they don't kill them or murder them or maim them or whatever. They just kidnap them, put them like into vaults or in their like pods or whatever to tie everybody up and keep some of the leaves their students and the teachers and shields and like pods or whatever. And Kara's about to die, and Brainiac was like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "You're insane." And then, spoiler alert: his grandfather, the circus leader, appears as a real big Brainiac, who has these other three Brainiacs, in his body. But he founded the circle in the 21st century to facilitate his resurrection, and he wants to be the most supreme intelligent being in the universe. So he wants to have control of the universe. He wants to like collect it, take over, he could kill a lot of people, maybe a lot of innocents, do a lot of damage there. And he's plotted for Brainiac if I were to grant him access to it. So he's like, do you think it's just a coincidence? I was like, no, I used you the whole time, grandson. Because his grandson was the only way for him to get it. Yeah. And of course, Brainiac probably thinks Brainiac is just crazy until you tell him you're insane. He wants to bend reality to eliminate it and make himself the savior of the universe. They're probably killing millions to do it. You know. But again, Brainiac with a villain like him, he's always wanted to be. He's intelligence, and he believes he wants himself to be the more supreme intelligence of the universe. Yeah, that he's so a genius that he can be above all, basically like God. That's what I'm trying to say. Current Brainiac 5, though, they do get rescued by some of the students. Well, before they do that, he has to use his like chip or whatever to save her life, and they start flirting with each other. The moments we can tell they like each other. Where Supergirl like flies him over there where they need to get to before they meet Brainiac 5. By the way, he's like, well, it's either this or we can do something else. But he's like, Cora, you're smart and you're very beautiful. And when you make a spring at me, I can't think straight. And they're about to share a kiss until what's the girl's name? Phantom Girl. Phantom Girl like grabs them. Triple Girl. Well, one of her alternative selves, she can turn like duplicate herself. But one of her third selves gets killed. And they said we're gonna get Mono, Invisible Kid, and Phantom Girl there too. They grab Bouncing Boy and Dawnstar. They send the SOS to Lasers in space, and then they get ready to fight. But while the circle on Brainiac 5, they move to stop Brainiac. They said it's enough Brainiac, and the gang does pretty good. They do fight pretty good. Invisible Boy knocks some people out. Bouncing Boy knocks some people out. Invisible Kid's able to knock some out. I'm from my boys able to get like grab, his arms come off. Is able to grab two Dark Circle members of them and then knock them out. And Mondale, he thinks they're weak links. He wants to be part of the Supreme too. His own goal that he does would like to rebuild Krypton, rebuild Daxima, rebuild his home, and he wants Core to join him, but knowing she won't, that's why he stabbed her. They can't prevent the Miracle Machine's activation, but Brainiac 5 was able to say who's more intelligent. Brainiac 5 was able to trick Brainiac and his predecessors, and basically they're like, I'm a genius. That'll come out of his body. He's like, no, I am. And Brainiac, along with his Brainiac predecessors who are like on his body, they tear each other apart a little. Like, yeah, pretty bloody. So Brainiac dies. So the machine just goes to control. In her attempt to stop it, Cora tries to punch it. Yeah. She does summon her mother's soul. She attempts to reverse Krypton's destruction. She could have saved it, but she has to come to terms with the loss and stop the displays of the machine. A lot of people can get hurt. You can't really be in reality. You can't play God, basically. Reality is not for you to bend. It's just not. It's just wrong to do. You can cause a lot of damage. Mary convinces her that she's like, Mom, I miss you and I love you. And she feels like, I am proud of you, Cora. She basically lets her know she's proud of her. And she's like, bye, Mom. And she has to move on. Yeah, she does move on and eventually has to learn to adjust on life. You know. Yeah. Then the students go, of course, you got Monel, who the Dark Circle like says, see you later. They try to retreat. But Monel fights Supergirl. Supergirl's like, you saved us for him. Supergirl, he's like, and Supergirl punches him, and you see Monel bleeding a couple times, his face all torn up. Supergirl gives him an asshole. He's like, okay, I'll convince you one more time, Supergirl, or we can rebuild Krypton. We can redo it. Like, oh, Monel, so sad you can't move on. And punches him out. They all knock him out, and they defeat him. And then the rest of the Legionnaires show up and say, they did a great job. Let's make them full members. And they become full members. And Kara and Lucky Brainiac 5, him and Supergirl share a kiss. Post credit scene, Kara is able to use the time machine ball, whatever. Contract, talk to Superman, saying, I'm doing great. I'm going to stay here. I'm doing great. Oh, and by the way, this is my new boyfriend. My boyfriend, Brainiac 5, Brainiac 5, like, hi, Superman. Hey, sir, how you doing? And she's like, well, I'm glad to see you doing well. She's like, okay, well, bye, Cal. After the call is ended, though, Superman and Batman inspect a crater in Metropolis. when they hit, and apparently they get analyzed by a beam that takes them to another world, basically Elseworlds kind of world. This is basically leading up to Justice League Crisis on Infinite Part 1, Part 2, 3. This is when the same movie that came out this year, 2023, Justice League World, that's when you get into that movie. So yeah, but the movie ends there with Superman and Batman, getting hit by that beam. They don't die. They just get sent to other worlds, along with Wonder Woman. But you see that in the next film. And let me see if I reach some quotes. We're in 40 minutes. Okay, sorry. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, not many quotes, but there's good dialogue in here. I thought, in my opinion. Uh, sorry. But anyway, let me sum up my opinion, my final opinion on this movie. We're nearly done, guys. We're almost done. The Legion of Superheroes. This film was great. I loved it. This is really enjoyable. I thought the film had a good story. I love the character of Supergirl. She's a very underrated character. I think she does well. No, I don't think she's right. I think a lot of people like Supergirl. I do. She's very gorgeous. She's a cute character. I always love Supergirl. She's different from Superman, of course, not just because she's a girl, but has her own ways of fighting too. And yeah, but it's a very entertaining movie. I like the story that she has learned to adjust. Krypton, we see get destroyed. You see a bit of her origin, her pa getting knocked off course for those many years and having adjusted in life, but eventually by the end, learning to accept Krypton's fate and her mother's fate, and learning to move on with her life. Learning to just move on. And I like the whole thing with the Miracle Machine that you can bend reality, but you can't bend reality to your own will. None of us are God. We're not really, can't control reality. You can't really control it. You know, that's just not right, if I'm making any sense. But I like the story. The animation is beautiful. I love the animation here. The animation is really good. The action is really good. Like I said, this film does have blood in it every now and then. I like Brainiac 5, Brainiac becoming back as a villain. I like the character of Brainiac 5 and Supergirls. I like their romance. Uh, yeah, they're flirting with each other. And their romance in here works. Sparks are flying between them, and I thought it worked pretty well. You can tell, like, it's intense rivalry at first, but as you can tell with their intense rivalry, it does become romantic because you can tell that they have those feelings for each other by aggravating each other. You can tell that there's chemistry there between them. There's romance between them, and it worked. I thought the romance was very good. I wish we would saw more of them in Justice League Crisis on Infinite but if they make any more movies of this, which I wish they would, I don't know why they won't. I guess the 60% on Rotten Tomatoes thing needs to be a little higher. But the movie could be up the ante on some major set pieces. It does get the hardware winks of Legion kick. One said the film is a very standard but enjoyable super. Yeah, which I agree. The animation is good. The acting is real good. The voice acting is real good. McDonnelly is the voice of Supergirl. Jason Ackles is the voice of Batman. Darren Criss is the voice of Superman. They all do a good job. And the editing is good. The action is well shot. Music score, not completely memorable, but it's good. And the film is 83 minutes long. It goes by at a really good pace, believe me. It's only 1 hour, I think, 1 hour 20 minutes long. It's not that long of a film. It goes by at a good pace. It's got a good story, and it's very entertaining. Yeah. And I love the side characters too. The humor works as well. Legion of Superheroes seem like really cool characters. I like that they got their own movie. It's very interesting. Yeah, and it's a very entertaining film. I like the characters, like I said. The humor works. The characters work. I can't think of any problems I have. Yeah, well, I'm not going to complain about Flash not having enough screen time or Superman or Batman because, again, this is not their movie. It's more removed about the Legion of Superheroes and Supergirl mainly, she being the main focus of the story, the main drive for the story, I mean. So, which is fine. I've already had Superman Man tomorrow, Batman on Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, and Justice Society World War 2, where I can see plenty of Flash in there. And of course, Justice League Crest Years, where you see more of them. So, yeah, I was fine with it. It didn't make me mad or anything. I don't really see the problem with that. And I think it's just as awesome as some of the, this is one of the best DC anime films out there, in my opinion. And I love the artwork. The poster is really good too. So the story was good. The voice acting is good. The action is real good. The editing and stuff is real good. Music score is fine. Music score, I say, is not completely memorable, but I can let it slip. Because when I hear it, it is a good music score. I don't find it too memorable. But other than that, some good dialogue, good humor, action, and everything. And I do love that Proby character. Very cute looking character. I just wish maybe we saw more of him in the movie. A little more screen time for a little cute character. That's like a little baby Clayface to me. Very cute. I wish they would have showed that little character a lot more. Kind of reminded me of Baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I wish they would have shown more of that character, in the film. Just like after Triple G's killed, we don't really see him anymore. I'm like, it's one thing I stay away from the one issue. I wish I was able to show the character more, but I can let it slip. Because it's still a great movie. It's very enjoyable. Yeah, one of DC's best animated films, one of DC's best films, in my opinion. Regardless of live action or animation, it's one of the best films, in my opinion. If you guys didn't like it, that's fine. That's your opinion. But this is just my review. Remember, just my opinion. That's all it is. So my rating for Legion of Superheroes is I'm gonna rate this film. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, and my rating for this film is 5 out of 5 stars. So guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of this Legion of Superheroes in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or were you not a fan of it? Was it not your cup of tea? And what are some of your favorite and least favorite DC films, animated or live action? And how would you rank the DC, only the DC animated movies? How would you rank them, the DC Universe movies, animated films, in your opinion? Alright, guys. Stay tuned for another review. I hate it when this damn thing does this. Sorry. Alright, this is, I believe, this should be the 31st film. Sorry. Sorry. This is, I believe, the 31st film of the MCU, the third Ant-Man movie. If I can get to it. Okay. Okay. Yep, like I said, 31st film in the MCU. It is a sequel to the 2015 Ant-Man film and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the third Ant-Man movie, and like I said, 31st film. Directed by Peyton Reed, and starring Paul Rudd, Evelyn Lilly, Jonathan Majors, Kathryn Newton, Bill Murray, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Michael Douglas. And oh, my phone is full. And probably not tomorrow because tomorrow I gotta do laundry. Yes, I really do have to do laundry tomorrow. Sometimes I know I shouldn't say that, but that's weird. But maybe on Thursday I'll review this. And then, of course, welcome back, because that's kind of what was on the movie. But anyway, the next review will be the 31st MCU film, the third Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So this will be next, so stay tuned for this review. It, well, it might not be tomorrow, sorry, but it could be Thursday, July 3rd. So, I don't know when I'll be able to do the review, folks. And plus, I probably won't be able to do any reviews on Friday or the weekend, not just because of work, but just because spending time with family a little bit, and of course the holiday as well. 4th of July, I'm planning to watch Independence Day with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman. I like watching that movie every year. Try to. I didn't get to last year, but I want to do it this year. Try to watch that movie this Friday. Sorry, it's just a movie when this holiday comes around. I like to watch it. But anyways, if I don't see you, happy 4th of July to you. If you're not watching this video, if you're on vacation or whatever, that's fine. But have a good 4th of July. And yeah, again, my rating for Legion of Superheroes, my rating for the film is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. So tell me in the comments down below, guys, what do you think of this movie in your opinion? And stay tuned for my next review for the 31st MCU movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, coming next. Yeah, this was February 17th, so it is next. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, coming up next. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye.